Oh no, Superman said no to war crimes and bullying. Superman 2025, written and directed by James Gunn. Let's just start by addressing the fact that this film has reached over 1 million viewers on Letterboxd in under 10 days. Now that is insane. This is the record that's been set. No other film has done that. That is the quickest any film has reached 1 million watches. Insane. Despite people singing its praise, I feel like the quality of the film needs to be discussed more. I've spoken to quite a few people who've watched the film, and I think we've all decided that the quality of it is not that great. Overall, the character writing is the plot, the CGI, it's just not, it's not quality, but overall it is still an enjoyable film. With the characters, I briefly mentioned the fact that they were poorly written, and I'm gonna be honest, that's true, that's what I believe. I think they were just, they just weren't the best that they could be. Specifically the female characters. The male characters, they were okay, they weren't too bad. The female characters were just sloppy. Eve was by far the worst. Oh my days. She was blonde, she was ditzy, she was obsessed with fashion, she was fawning over a man for the entire film. It was just so stereotypical. It was this L word stereotype, overused. If you've seen the film, you would know the end of the film, she's actually intelligent. She's this underground genius. That doesn't help. It does not help. Going for the entire film being this ditzy social media freak, and then at the end having 5 minutes where you're actually like, oh, so she's been clever all this time. It's not helping the stereotype whatsoever. Like I said, it's the Elle Wood stereotype. It's just Lois Lane as well. She's difficult because I feel like she was a good character. She was alright. She was funny. She was witty, independent, intelligent, yes. But there was something missing. It really did feel like she was still a throwaway journalist love interest character. Despite all those good traits, she still felt like she was just there. And she feels like she was written for feminism's sake. By a man, by the way. It feels like a man wrote this character to fit in the female gaze. And Superman was so well written. I'm so glad they went down the route of empathetic and kind instead of human tank who doesn't feel anything. It was a breath of fresh air, considering in the past, not naming names, we have had human tank Superman who just cares about killing things. That's not what Superman's about, in my opinion. I think Superman should be a caring character. He should, he should be friendly. He doesn't care about shooting aliens and murdering cyborgs. He cares about helping an old lady cross the road or getting a cat out of a tree. People that have watched it and have looked at Superman and gone, oh, he's too emotional, he's too weak, he's too woke. I think you might be the problem, if I'm going to be completely honest. He's not a woke character. He was just caring. He was kind. Just because he said no to war crimes does not make him woke. I think that's just a general, I think that's just common sense, Oh no, Superman said no to war crimes and bullying. a moment of appreciation for David Corenswet's vocal change when he goes from Clark Kent to Superman.
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Such a good little detail that I feel like was needed. We all know it's always been a running joke that Superman's glasses are not a great disguise, and I think they covered that pretty much, not just with the vocal change, but they also had a scene where he was saying that they had a field around them, a disguising field. I don't know, but at least that plot hole was covered, because I feel like it hasn't been discussed enough in the universe of DC. So thank you, James Gunn, for covering that up. CGI was there. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrific. It just wasn't believable. I'd say it was like one step above the CGI for Scooby-Doo in Scooby-Doo Monsters Unleashed. It was that level. Actually, no, that's an exaggeration. I think it was a lot better than that. I'm halfway through the editing process now. I've literally just thought I should say this. I want to thank James Gunn for, number one, using real robots in the robot scenes in the film. Like, that's incredible.
We have no consciousness whatsoever, merely automatons here to serve.
That's so funny.
And also, thank you for using CGI and getting people to make it authentic instead of using AI. And I think other films need to take note. The plot was... There was nothing... there was nothing interesting about the plot, if I'm gonna be honest. It was just Superman does something and then Superman does something else. And then some other characters come in and then Superman does something else. There was no oomph. There were no points in it where the audience were like, oh, no way that just happened, or oh, I wasn't expecting that, or oh, it was just, yeah, okay, so that happened. Even the point in the film where I think it was supposed to be a big, confusing plot twist, there was just no reaction. It was just, yeah, okay. That's a choice. It was just... I think if the film's plot was an object, it would be a cardboard box filled with nothing but bubble wrap. Like, there's nothing interesting in there. There's nothing of value you can get in that box. But bubble wrap is fun, so you can't complain. One massive thing I think they missed from the plot was the iconic Superman S reveal, the shirt reveal. I think that would have made the plot go from 10% to 1,000,000%. I feel like that's just the iconic thing, and I was expecting it for the entire film, and it just never came. Not even in the post-credit scene. It wasn't anywhere, and I feel like every Superman actor has to do the shirt thing. It's always been a thing for Superman, and the fact that they missed that opportunity is genuinely devastating. I'm pretty sure this Superman film is the Kickstarter for a long line of Superman films with the same cast. I mean, they have literally just announced Supergirl for next year. So I feel like there's plenty of opportunity for David Corenswet to come back and do that iconic move. I feel like you can't have Superman without it. The biggest letdown of the film. Not the CGI, not the characters, the fact that we didn't get that. Something that I think has really helped this film is the social media side of it, the marketing, the engagement with people online. I think that's really elevated it to the next level. Seeing the cast and the crew and James Gunn and the official Superman TikTok account, Instagram account, whatever, seeing them actively uploading every day, starting from shooting days, all the way to the press tour, and even after it's been released, seeing them uploading TikTok trends and videos to viral sounds and even memes about the film.
Hey, Clark.
Hey, Jimmy.
Did you, Who are you?
I think that's just taking it to the next level. That's such a good way of getting people to come and see the film. A lot of movies they're destined to be great films, but they don't actively post online. They just release the trailers, put posters up on bus stops, and then let it be. But we live in a world where that is not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is social media, is being online and being active. Overall, I'd say this film is brilliant. I mean, I know I've said a lot of bad things about it because it is tacky, but if you just ignore it, if you just ignore the budget, well, I mean, it had a high budget, but if you just ignore the low quality graphics and the badly written characters, if you just ignore all that, get lost in the story, take in the themes of being kind and all that stuff, just don't pick it apart. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It's great. I definitely recommend it to so many different people, and it's just enjoyable. It's an easy watch. I know I ripped apart the plot because it's just so boring, but it's not boring. That's the thing. It's basic, but having the standard codes and conventions that every other superhero film has, it's kind of comforting. It lets you know that it's gonna be a happy ending. They're gonna win. It's light-hearted. It's great, and it's good for the family. A lot of superhero films, they're dark. They're more 15 plus. So having a light-hearted, fun plot that is easy to follow for every age, someone should check up on my younger self, because if she heard me saying good things about a DC film, she'd be livid. She'd be so disgusted. She was an avid Marvel fan. But now I think Marvel should watch out because they have got some strong competition, considering the Superman film has got such a wide fan base, and there's more films. We know there's more coming out, like Supergirl. Oh my gosh. Marvel need to watch their back. That's for sure.